Restoring men and history, adding one word to his thoughts. What could one word do for you? Let's see. It changed a man's life, he said, and he talked about it. He is an enormous success. You may have heard about him. And today we want to talk about this because you may be reviewing and setting new goals for the year. And this can be used at any time during the year because you always need to be reviewing and setting goals, right? As men. And this one's about, are you going to control your minds this year? Are you going to make it a goal to control your mind and your thoughts this year? And here's a little example of how you can help with that. A 69-year-old founder of a billion-dollar company says adding this one word to his negative thoughts changed his life. What was the word that he added? If you like this video, please hit the notification button, subscribe, and hit that like button. It helps the algorithm. We would greatly appreciate you. Ladies and gentlemen, David Novak, co-founder and CEO of Yum Brands, wrote about it under success at CNBC.com, and let's see how it might help you succeed. Here's what he says. Whether or not you succeed in your goals depends on your capacity to believe you can do it. We believe that here. You guys need to believe you can do it. If you don't believe it, how are other guys going to believe you can do it if you don't even believe in yourself or believe that you can achieve it? So first of all, mindset is you can do it, right? If you don't believe it, who else will? You got to believe it. Even as the former CEO and co-founder of the billion-dollar restaurant company Yum Brands, I've had moments where I wondered, he says, do I have what it takes? Do you ever say that to yourself? Do you have what it takes? How do you handle that? How do you deal with it? Luckily, he came up with some mental hacks that helped him cultivate greater confidence in himself. One of the most effective was reframing the negative thoughts. We've talked about reframing negative thoughts that were undermining self-belief. In fact, we've talked about replacing them, right? Way back. So we've talked about reframing, controlling your minds and thoughts, and how valuable that can be to a man, how important that can be. And think about confidence. Confidence is important to you to achieve your goals. It's important to you for women. They're attracted to confident men, not arrogant, confident. Some are attracted to arrogant, but the point is we want you to be confident, not arrogant. Now, we've talked about reframing in groups. Here's what he says about it. Reframing is a psychological technique in which we identify how we view a situation or experience and then change our perspective. All perspective, right? What's your perspective on it? When something happens, what's your take on it? This isn't an exercise in wishful thinking or denying your feelings. Your feelings are clues about what's important to you, so you can always acknowledge them. The goal is to find a more productive way of thinking, right? We talk about this all the time. We want men who think. We want men who control their thoughts. Now, here's what he did, and listen to this part. This is a very simple exercise that may or may not work for you. Simple change that anyone can do, too. You don't have to have money for this. It's free. So this will not cost you money. Reframing not into something else. So he reframed the word not into not yet. Changed his life. One easy reframing. Add the word yet at the end of the sentence, he says. When he was building Yum Brands, he wanted to become a global powerhouse. However, a voice kept popping up in his heart, his head, he says, saying, we aren't known as a legitimate international company. That was definitely true at first, he says, but one day I decided to add yet to the end of that thought, one word, yet. We are not a successful international company yet. You see that? You hear that? Each time I felt defeated or unmotivated, I repeated this sentence to myself. What do you do when you feel unmotivated? What do you do when you get down? How are you going to handle that? How do you deal with it? You don't have to deal with this way. You can use your own system. He did it maybe to work for you. The key is to get your control of your mind. He says that life-changing three-letter word opened up room for me to believe in myself and to take risks. Now, we want you men to take calculated risk, right? We believe that manly men take calculated risks. And that's a manly virtue, to take risk. I've never done X was no longer possible. Doing X is not possible, he says. And what happened, he says? He says he gained confidence, which is important to men. He says, I gained the confidence I needed to make a big strategic bet on going global, and it paid off. Eventually, Yum! Brands became one of the world's largest restaurant company with locations in more than 135 countries. So here's just a guy who added one word, and he believed it changed his life, gentlemen. See how simple some things can be. How to reframe your negative thoughts. He has a little exercise here. By adding the word yet, you could turn what could have been the end of a conversation into the beginning of a new one. You get that? He has an exercise to do, and we're starting the year off right, so we want you to get this exercise so you can get your mind right for success, so you can have success in all ways. So he says, try this exercise for yourself. Think of something outside of your comfort zone. You got it? Think of something right now. You're sitting out there, and imagine or think about something you can't do that you want to do. Pick something that you'd be unlikely to do, whatever it is. Might be running a marathon. He uses that example, or a homebody, or you hate airplanes. Whatever we're going to be use. Could be afraid you're afraid to go up to a pretty girl and say, I can't walk up to pretty girls and talk to them, or I can't start a business. 2, frame it in a sentence using can't or not. For example, I can't run a marathon, or it's not possible for me to travel all the way to Australia. Then say the sentence out loud to yourself. Or, I can't walk up and talk to pretty girls, or I can't build a business. We added those. Add yet to the end of your sentence and then say it out loud. Say it out loud, ladies and gentlemen. Using the above example, say, I can't run a marathon, what? Yet. It is not possible for me to travel all the way to Australia, what? Yet. I can't walk up and talk to pretty girls, yet. I can't build a business, yet. You see that? Just add the yet word at the end. This is your beginning of the year tips. Now, 4, ask yourself, what would I need to do to practice or do in order to make it happen? Write down some things that could lead to it becoming a real possibility. Maybe he says you can get up an hour earlier each morning and walk 1 mile for his goal, then increase it by another mile the following week. Maybe you can research relaxation techniques to fly. Or in our example, practice. How are you going to meet a girl? So here's our example. You want to meet a girl. She's at the bar. Just walk up and get a drink beside her the first time. Second time, walk up and say hi to a different girl. You're not going to do this to the same girl, right? That would look weird. Next time you're at a bar, walk up and say hi and leave. Next time you're up at the bar, walk up, buy the girl a drink and leave. Next time you're up at the bar, walk up and talk to the girl and have a full-blown conversation, okay? That's the way you can build up to talking to women. You want to start a business? Meet with a buddy and work out the plan. Write it down. You see, that's the practice, and it can get you into action. What does he say here? See what it's like to view this impossibility in a different light and imagine what you might do differently if it were possible. All right, 5, keep this reframing technique handy. So you run into a problem, you run into something, can't use it again. When you face a challenging thought about starting something new, keep this tool in your back pocket, he says. Reframing can help your mind think in a new way and in a truer way. None of us are fixed in time. We are all works in progress. And what we're capable of is unknown until we achieve it, right? You can achieve more than you think, ladies and gentlemen. We want you to be better. We know you can be better. We want you to reach your potential. It might be as simple as adding one word that could change your life forever. It was for him. Thank you. If you like this video, please like. It helps the algorithm. Comment, subscribe, and hit that notification button. For sure, smash that like button if you can. Thank you.